We often assume that when people buy things, they act like human calculators. We think they carefully weigh specifications, compare processor speeds, and analyze price tags to make the perfect, logical choice. But behavioral economics tells a different story. Research suggests that most people lack the time, the motivation, or the perfect information required to optimize every single purchase. Instead, they rely upon quick mental shortcuts. Many companies fall into the product attribute fixation trap, stuck in a closed loop where marketing revolves around price, speed, or durability. This strategy is fragile. Competitors match price points instantly. By duplicating metrics, they force the category into a race to the bottom. To avoid this, a brand has to shift its focus. It must move away from what the product physically does and begin addressing the customer's internal monologue. Real market dominance comes from looking past the spec sheet and understanding the psychological architecture that actually drives human decision-making. That internal monologue starts with the emotional benefit. It is defined by a single phrase: "When I buy this, I feel." A sports car is a collection of steel and rubber, but its market value is the visceral excitement it generates as it blurs past a camera. That feeling becomes the primary reason for the purchase. This emotional layer creates a buffer. When a product makes a user feel something specific, they are less likely to view it as a mere commodity that can be swapped for a cheaper alternative. The next level of the monologue is the self-expressive benefit. This is driven by the phrase, "When I use this, I am." In this case, the brand acts as a psychological mirror. It allows the customer to project their priorities and their values to the outside world. For some, using a specific type of software is a way to signal personal creativity. For others, wearing a particular outdoor brand is a way to broadcast their environmental activism. When these benefits align, the transaction shifts from a simple exchange of cash to a way for a customer to affirm their own identity. The third level of the monologue is the social benefit. This answers the prompt, "The people I relate to are." This taps into a fundamental human drive. For thousands of years, our survival depended on our ability to find a social niche and form tribal identities. Brands act as the organizing glue. As individuals are drawn into a unified cluster, they gain a shared identity, even if they never physically meet. This creates an aspirational reference group, where purchasing an item feels like gaining automatic membership into an exclusive club. This social bond is significantly harder to break than a bond based on functional features. You can match a processor speed, but you cannot easily disrupt a sense of belonging. When operating at this level, a brand is no longer just selling a product. It provides a solution to the core human need for community. When you combine these three monologues, the emotional, the expressive, and the social, you create a unified framework of customer psychology. A brand that fulfills all three has moved beyond the constraints of its physical attributes. Think back to the competitor who tries to disrupt the market by building a cheaper or more efficient alternative. They are focusing on the physical attributes that are the easiest to mass produce. Competitors struggle here because while they can replicate hardware, they cannot quickly replicate a feeling, an identity, or a deeply held personal belief. Those are the outer rings that shield the brand. This layered connection acts as a strategic moat. It neutralizes the impact of cheaper alternatives by removing them from the customer's decision-making process. Building a lasting brand requires moving past the spec sheet and anchoring the offering in these core human experiences.